All right, we're back again here. So, if you have any questions, comments related to iron, your iron story, happy to help you out. I'm not your doctor, but and so I can't give you what you should do, what I'm, prescribing for you to do. But we can definitely educate and help support, make sure you can make the best possible decision for yourself or a family member who may be suffering from iron deficiency anemia. And today we're going to kind of chat about iron infusions, which are just, people get them everywhere. And I used to do them myself with patients and haven't done them for about 7.5, 8 years now. But yeah, I think, one of the things with iron infusions versus oral iron, which, there has historically been quite an issue with oral iron and, causing a lot of digestive distress and people just don't want to do it and they don't see their levels increasing. So why would you do it if it's not benefiting you? Which totally get it. That's why we created Blood Vitality, of course. But when it comes to iron infusions, I think the big thing is people want that quick fix, instant help right now. You know, you don't iron infusion is way downstream. It's just like, if your red blood cells are a little bit low, we don't go get a blood transfusion tomorrow because we have our red blood cells are on the lower end. No, we figure out, okay, why is that? And let's do some blood building things to get those red blood cells up, support kidney function, erythropoiesis, maybe use some herbs that promote red blood cell formation, make sure we have enough, B vitamins on board, enough iron on board, enough folate, all these things. But when it comes to iron, I think we kind of fail to realize that the very reason iron is often so challenging to maintain optimal levels of in the blood and why people are deficient in it on a regular basis, especially females, female runners, menstruating females, is because the body has all these stop gaps for ensuring that it doesn't end up with too much iron. And so we're like, you know what? The body in its supreme intelligence. I mean, it is fearfully and wonderfully made, this human being we are. It is so intricate, billions of things happening every given second of every given day interacting together. And I think we want to recognize that, hey, maybe the reason it's really challenging to get iron levels up, or it can be, and it takes a little bit of patience and it takes these very special types of transporters, and like in the blood vitality, this rice protein matrix to help facilitate increasing iron in an oral way. Maybe the reason that is because the body recognizes, hey, this could be a problem for me. This is a challenge. Maybe maybe we don't want to usurp the body's authority, the body's brilliance and wisdom. We want to work with it. And so when we jump straight to iron infusions without getting everything else set up first, or jumping straight to iron infusion because our our ferritin's 14 or something, it's like, I got this thing going. I want to go right now. Go do it. It's like the person that's got a sinus infection, which are 99% of the time or 93% of the time I think it is, they're viral, but they got a vacation coming up, so they want to take an antibiotic and a steroid. Like, man, the body's going to you're going to pay for that over the long term if you keep taking on that kind of methodology of just right now. So I think the instant help idea, we've really got to be watchful of that when it comes to these iron infusions, because they're not benign. There's a reason that they cost a lot of money. There's a reason that there's an oxygen machine that's got to be available to you. There's a reason that there's all these stop gaps in place, and when you get an iron infusion, because it's not just a benign thing. There's also a reason, like on some of my YouTube videos, you see when I talk about iron infusions, where there's hundreds or thousands of comments on people who've had all these different side effects related to them. So I think, like with everything in medicine, there is a time and a place for it, but we don't want to jump to the most intensive measure right off the bat. Let's go for the things that consistently work, that maybe take a few extra days or extra weeks or maybe an extra month to get our levels up to normalcy, and that aren't going to put us in a state of that slower uptake isn't going to hurt us. It's not putting us in danger or anything like that. So when iron is infused, a portion of that iron is going to bypass the normal transferrin binding system. And transferrin is that protein in your blood that's housing iron and driving it around wherever you need it. Ferritin stores it in the cells, transferrin transports it. So when we bypass, because there's so much iron coming in, say via iron sucrose or iron carboxy maltose iron infusion, we are setting ourselves up for trouble and irritation. We're creating oxidative stress. We're generating a bunch of free radicals that is not a part of the normal life promoting system of our body. Free radicals are normal, and our body has ways of reducing those. But when we're talking about where an exogenous agent is coming in, like iron via an iron infusion, and is causing that process, that is not normal. That leads to lipid peroxidation, that is breakdown of cell membranes, that leads to protein oxidation, that leads to DNA damage. There's even studies showing where iron sucrose, IV iron sucrose, which is Venifer, is the common name brand, which is the one I used to use, actually increase renal oxidative stress. So that's kidney stress. Basically, when the kidney stress markers, oxidative markers, there's damage, there's irritation those kidneys. And lipid peroxidation is like one of the worst things, because that means that your lipid bilayer is getting broken down. And you don't want that. That's how you communicate from cell to cell. That's where you decide what goes into the cell, what comes out of the cell. Huge deal. And if you get, say, one iron infusion and never get another one, fine. But for so many people, and it's like every four in a row, over 4 weeks, or it's they get one every month, or every 6 months, or every 4 times a year. Or I've had patients come in, they've gotten like 20 plus iron infusions. It's like, okay, we got to figure out a different way here, especially if it doesn't look like you have some crazy genetic thing where there's no way of absorbing iron. We just got to take a step back and figure out what is the reason. What are we missing here? Do we need to get your periods to stop being so intensive? Do we need to figure out if you're losing blood through your colon, or we got to figure this out, because those iron infusions are definitely creating a lot of oxidative stress. And if you already are, like so many of the standard American is, inflamed, have chronic oxidative stress from lifestyle stressors, from lack of sleep, from pounding energy drinks, from eating ultra processed foods, that's only going to exacerbate if you're throwing something into your bloodstream that is itself an oxidative agent. There is, on the other side of things, beyond, that's probably my biggest thing, is this oxidation. It's like we don't realize what we're doing to ourselves here. And we're usurping the authority of the body. We're bypassing the body's normal, and I would say optimal stop gaps. But beyond that, there's the whole, hypophosphatemia, low phosphorus levels, that can happen usually 1 to 2 weeks after an IV. That is, it's pretty rare with the iron sucrose, much more commonly with the iron carboxy maltose. I personally never used that one before with a patient, but it is used. So if you are getting that type, that you're getting iron infusion, you're getting or ferric or iron carboxy maltose in the IV, you definitely want to ask them, am I getting this? And I would ask them, can I just get Venifer instead of the iron, instead of that one, the iron sucrose, instead of the carboxy maltose? But if you are getting that one, you want to make sure you're getting your phosphorus, your calcium, and the vitamin D levels checked in advance, and then within about a week of getting that first infusion, to make sure everything's good to go. Because low phosphate levels can cause all kinds of craziness in the body. Phosphorus, you need it for ATP production, the energy resource your body, you need for bone structure, and people get heart issues and all that kind of stuff, palpitations, crazy fatigues that I've seen with this kind of thing. So definitely want to get those checked out. And I think in the end, the reason I have not done an IV iron infusion, or even we used to do some injections as well. The reason I haven't is because we have not needed it. I've not stopped seeing people that are iron deficient or anemic, but we found that using Blood Vitality, in that basically the rice protein housing the iron in there, that has been just a complete game changer, and it's taken us from having this big old setup every time we're given an IV iron infusion to zero, not having to order it all anymore, and having patient after patient after patient after patient over about 8 years see iron levels go up just fine, and not even have to worry about if there's again, weight gain, water gain, oxidative stress, all that kind of stuff that can come along with iron infusions. All right, let me see if there's any. Okay, so somebody asks, we are from a small Louisiana town. My daughter is 24 and last 8 years has had so many infusions. She just got done with 7 now, less than a month. She is now pregnant and they want her to do 7 more. Wow, that is wild. They say her ferritin. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really intense. You definitely would want to figure out, okay, what is the deal? We're missing something here. Whether it's supportive nutrients, veganism that's up, or we're and there's something within her digestive tract that's off. Why she would not be uptaking iron, or maybe you just need to get, like I would say, try a different type of iron, like say blood vitality, something like that has a really high absorption capacity. Because that's just make sure if you're getting that many infusions and being pregnant, make sure they're checking the ferritin, make sure they're checking the iron saturation, make sure they're checking the total iron binding capacity, and even the transferrin. I would get the transferrin checked on its own to make sure her body actually has what it needs to take care of the iron that is coming in via iron infusion, and that isn't causing a bunch of oxidative stress. But I really think, if you're having to get this many iron infusions, and they're saying I'm not sure exactly what you're saying here about. They say her ferritin doesn't produce iron. Well, I mean, ferritin is just a storage protein for iron, so it's not produced. That's right, it's not producing anything. You don't produce iron. You just receive iron from food inputs or supplements, and so we would definitely need to. You gotta look into that. We got to find another provider or more providers to take a look and go way deeper and figure out, okay, check your copper levels, check your ceruloplasmin levels, make sure those are all good to go. So there's not something else that could be missing as to why her ferritin is low or her iron levels are low. Yeah, I feel for you. Those, that's how we started using blood vitality actually with our twin girls, because my wife was pregnant with twin girls, and it wasn't she wasn't going anywhere. She was staying really iron deficient. Ferritin was 9. They weren't going to let us have a home birth. The midwife couldn't do it if the ferritin was that low. And she was taking a bunch of iron bisglycinate, wasn't doing anything. And then through just divine intervention, we came upon this way of, through a couple friends and scientists, came upon this way of making what we now call blood vitality. And, her levels went up within, 31 days from 9 to 23, and was able to have the twins at home. So, I think often in the standard medical community, all we think is there's ferrous sulfate for oral iron, which is just terrible. It's just torture for the body and for the digestive tract, and it takes forever for anything to change orally. So there's that. And then secondly, there is iron infusion. If ferrous sulfate doesn't work, then we're giving iron infusion. And both of them, I would say, are just I mean, it's no wonder people get iron infusions all the time because nothing's working, is because of what they use. They're using ferrous sulfate as the oral iron. And so that's why I think, if we can use, that's the least absorbable type of iron is ferrous sulfate. And so if you use any other type of iron, you're going to get more benefit, whether it's heme iron, whether it's blood vitality style of iron uptake, or it's just even iron bisglycinate is any better than ferrous sulfate. All right, so Louisiana, man, all the best. So sorry you're dealing with all that. All right, so I'll leave this up, and I'll see you guys and gals next time on live. If you have any questions or you want me to answer specific ones on here, you can always fire us an email at info@drwholeness.com.